Before I get started with the video, I want to let you guys know that later on today on my Twitch channel, I'm going to be helping run a exhibition series for BlazBlue Central Fiction called Xseed Assault, which is a cool exhibition series ran by Chixama, which is doing God's work by bringing together some of the best players around the nation and putting them up in an exhibition series to run some sets for some BlazBlue goodness. It's going to be later on today at around 6:30 Central Standard Time. Hold on, I'm sorry. 7:30 Central Standard Time. I almost got the times wrong. We're going to be running a couple of sets, actually not a couple, multiple sets with some of the best players. Some commentators are going to be there. It's going to be on my Twitch channel, so link in the description down below. Keep that in mind for later on today. Other than that, let's get into the video. Granblue Fantasy Versus is just around the corner, and it's a very hot topic right now, especially in the States. Long time no see, everybody. Today I want to talk about the current situation that's happening with Granblue Fantasy Versus, because it is a great game that's coming out very soon. However, there is some downsides to the game, and I kind of wanted to discuss and get your guys' inputs as well as soon as I'm done with the video. So if you guys don't know, I'm going to go ahead and catch you guys up on what's going on. It's very simple. It's nothing too extremely bad, but it's very interesting, worthy of bringing up in a discussion topic. So Granblue Fantasy Versus is coming out in Japan on February 6th, and that is great, all and dandy. However, there's no set release date for the NA version, which is odd considering that I swear I can't find it. I was trying to find the article or the statement where they said that they were trying to put a worldwide release at the same date or close to the same dates, similar to how they did with Dragon Ball, but that just didn't happen. So, with that being the case, we are stuck in limbo here in the States for the English release of Granblue Fantasy Versus, and a lot of people are kind of just not necessarily upset, but like disappointed to see that this game that they've been promoting so hard and trying to get as much material out from it, they're not going to be getting it on release, which means that they either have to import the game from Japan, which is what I'm currently doing, or they just have to straight up wait. And that's kind of just a small summary of it. Now I want to give my 2 cents on the situation, and I want to hear your guys' thoughts, like I said. So here is the thing with Granblue Fantasy Versus. Now, I don't think people are necessarily upset that they have to wait for a release date for the English version. I think they're more upset as to them being left in the dark. Now, I don't know the logistics, and I'm not here to bag on anybody. I'm just here to see it how I see it right now currently. And just looking at the situation at hand and seeing how the game is being handled in Japan versus how it's being handled here in the States, it's not very good. They really haven't confirmed anything with the English release. They really don't mention anything when it comes to releasing content or translating it over, or even giving some form of statement saying that it's going to be delayed or it's going to come at a later date. It's just more we're just left in the dark. And if you guys know out of anybody else, when a developer leaves a consumer and left in the dark, it's not good. They just start going rabid. It's like a puppy. For people that are mostly interested in the FGC standard, they don't really have to worry too much about it because we've been used to this for years and years with BlazBlue and with Guilty Gear and with other games like that. They always come out in Japan first because they come out in the arcades, and then they come out on console, and Japan always gets the consoles first. Yada, yada, yada. We've been through this same song and dance before. However, if you are a person who's very much interested in playing Granblue Fantasy Versus, because you're a Granblue Fantasy fan or you're a single player enthusiast and you want to try out the story mode for Granblue Fantasy, which is what I'm very curious about, to be honest with you. I actually quite enjoy entertaining, and also, well, not all story modes for fighting games really interest me, but the ones that they put a lot of effort to not only innovate the gameplay but also tell a good story is really fun to me. I know that BlazBlue and other games like Guilty Gear, they include cutscenes and they include visual novel style stories, but I'm not super into that. I'm more into how Dragon Ball did it. Even though it wasn't super great, I still enjoyed myself because it was interactive, and plus it was telling a story that is original and brand new. The Mortal Kombat and the Injustice story modes are also on that same boat. So people are kind of looking at Xseed shaking their heads in disappointment, just to see what exactly will happen with the English version of Granblue Fantasy Versus. And with that, I can see both sides. And let me explain what I mean by that. I can understand the consumer side, which is, if you take a look at the whole marketing scheme for Granblue Fantasy Versus, you see that Japan has a crazy upper hand over the NA English publisher, because they have published a few trailers. Xseed has, combining all the character trailers and trying to make it as consolidated as possible so they can throw it out there for marketing material. But they really have not done anything to be able to detail what the single player is going to be like, because Japan have done trailers for the single player aspects, kind of detailing what's going to happen with the single player, with the weapons, and with the everything else like that. And the English version has not. They just been rehashing trailers and rehashing clips and kind of calling it a new trailer, if you know what I mean. Amazon has placed a placeholder date on Granblue Fantasy Versus, putting it on the 6th. Well, that has changed, and now it's set to the 18th, which is a Tuesday, and that kind of lines up more with how America releases their new games. So nothing has been announced by Xseed, but we're hopeful to see that Granblue Fantasy Versus will release at the same month as the Japanese version. So now that we have all of that explained, I want to go over and flip the other side of the coin to the developer side. And I can understand why the developers are taking longer than the Japanese release date, because they did promise an English dub. So they're working on releasing an English dub, and they're trying to see if they can get all the DLC characters. I imagine they want to get all the main characters and such. But the thing is, it's worrying us because we haven't seen anything. I mean, nothing from the English dub. And it's worrisome because we don't know if that's going to play a factor into the release date. The English dub, of course, is important, especially if they promised it. But when it comes to non-communication, that's a big topic, or a big important factor when it comes into releasing and publishing games. Now, the only thing that's even remotely close to a statement from them is basically them saying that they'll be announcing a release date soon. Be patient and keep a lookout. We're aiming for a Q1 release date. And that's the only thing that's even remotely close. And it's on their Twitter. The only thing I found really was like a mention that they replied to somebody explaining the situation. But that is literally just about it. So it's getting a lot of people worried that we're going to be releasing the Japanese version, and the English version has no release date set at all. And that's kind of what's going on right now. But like I said, I understand both sides of the situation. They're trying to get it out with as cleanly, as polished as possible with English dubs. But like I said, the marketing material for the English version of Granblue Fantasy Versus has been very lackluster compared to the Japanese version. But either or, I am going to be getting the Japanese version, and then I pre-ordered the English version already, and it'll get here when it gets here, I guess. I'll just be enjoying it until the English version comes by. I just won't be playing the story mode, which is a big bummer. I will say, I'm going to be honest, I did want to play it day one, but that's just the case. That's just how it has to be. I just am making this video to kind of bring attention to some of these things that are happening currently with the game, and why so many people are kind of just, like I said, disappointed to see that the English release date has there's no release date. Not yet. Anyways, guys, what do you guys think of this whole situation? Will you guys be getting the Japanese version? I'd like to hear your input about this whole situation. Like I said, I'll be seeing you guys very soon with Granblue Fantasy Versus once it releases. I'll be covering the game extensively. And of course, don't forget about that Xseed Assault exhibition series for BlazBlue Central Fiction later on today. Link is in the description down below for more information about that. Anyways, guys, take care. I'll see you guys later.